Hey everybody, it's Steve, and I'm here today with a Splinterlands video. Now check this out. I haven't actually done a Splinterlands video, just regular video, for about 8 months. Of course, I haven't done that many videos in the last 8 months other than for my Honor versus Madness stuff that's going on. I am doing a giveaway on this video tomorrow morning. If you want to go and check it out and enter it, it's not too hard. Just got to find a tweet on Twitter and do a couple little retweeting. But we did have our end of the season. We had our first season with survival mode come to an end. Not our first season with the new leaderboard rewards. And I kind of want to get a feel from you guys. Did you like it? Was it successful? Are you in a camp that is mad that we're getting DEC instead of Glint instead of DEC? Or are you in the camp that's happy to see this, last inflation for DEC finally disappear? It's going to be an interesting thing if we start to actually see DEC run over the next couple seasons, because we don't have this last little inflation. Besides, the one other big one is people deleting cards at this point that still can be burned for DEC. But this was a good move in my mind. I know I liked at the end of the season getting an extra little payout of like 250,000 DEC. I did okay on the season. In Wild, the bot made it to Champion 1, but it fell down to Champion 2, so I'm starting the season off in Diamond. That means that I'm going to compete for the Diamond leaderboard. I'm not going to get to compete for the Champion leaderboard. This is something I wasn't really managing before, that with these new leaderboards, I might have to start to manage. The bot typically makes it into Champion, but I'll tell you a reason why it fell out of Champion 1 this time, and this will be an issue going forward. Now, in Modern, I only made it into Champion 2, but it wasn't necessarily a very true season trying to get into Champion 1. I only played 66 games. I won 47 of them. That's actually pretty good. I only had 19 losses, but that only got me to Champion 2, and I didn't get there till the last day of the season. I hadn't tried survival mode yet, and I wanted to try survival mode. And this game is mostly going to be about your guys' take and my take on survival mode, and if it's the right thing for the game or a bad thing for the game. Okay, so let's go look at survival mode and how it went for me. I played for 1 day. 90 battles, 68 wins. So I lost 22 out of 68, so 68 and 22. Not too bad. Obviously, I had some kind of silly matches in the beginning. I had my Jotun, I had my Kitty. They carried me for a lot of wins until somebody knocked those cards away from me. I didn't really have Llama Quran because I forgot to bring Quran off of land. I forgot to bring a lot of my really good unnamed cards off of land to have at my beck and call in Wild, in this Wild mode where you can use all cards. I'm going to have to think about that for next season. I got Llama Crond, I got Llama Pelicord. I ran into some of the higher ranked players on the board, so that was kind of interesting. They were still playing on the last day, and they beat me. We did have over 100 people come and play and be in the leaderboard, and this next season it'll be easier to see in the leaderboards, as you're going to have some people starting off in the diamond board and the gold board and the silver board. I'm stuck in bronze. I made it to silver 3 but got knocked out of it. Wasn't in here, didn't win any DAC. But what did I learn from silver mode? Well, I mean from survival mode. Well, the SPS wins are wild. There's not that many people playing them. They have the same rewards pool as anybody else. By the end of the season, I'm winning games in bronze. And when I go to my battle log, we'll just go look at a couple of the last few wins. We'll do a quick skip here. And as you can see, we pulled in 21 SPS for that win. We'll go ahead and do this one here where I won. We'll skip this battle. There's another 20 SPS for that one. That was kind of an interesting match against a very low-ranked person. These two right here. This is kind of the craziest thing. You get matched against these really, really low-ranked people. Though I'm pretty sure Fluid Flame here, running a Bizen Kitty with all these maxed out extremely rare cards, including an Angel of Light, must have just been starting his play here, Mr. Legion, because I don't understand this 80 rank I wonder where he got to, because he took out my Avena, and that really really led towards the end of me. I could have kept playing with my Lux for a little while, I suppose, to try to get back to silver. But as you can see down here, did I win any game? I was pretty. No, I was in bronze all everywhere for the last end of the day. We'll see another easy win here that I got. This was a surrender, actually. So I guess when you surrendered, you do lose a couple characters, and they did that, I think, to prevent people from ducking people. Because, yeah, when I went into this next match against, and I was playing Bupkey, and I saw that he had been playing Jotun a lot, and I didn't have Jotun to counter anymore. Did I throw out a kind of weaker team? Maybe. Maybe not. No, I wasn't really that smart. But I did notice that I did, was running low on people here. This was probably my worst team of the night. I have no idea why I just tried Lowland with Katribra just to run into somebody who actually did much better mana management here. Zircon beat me pretty badly, but here we go. We got another win, and we got another, 18 SPS on this one. So you're pulling in 20, 30, 40 SPS in bronze, or 20 SPS in bronze. If you're getting wins in silver, you're probably pulling in 25, 30. I know Jeff Open Cards, Dwayne, we're showing just kind of crazy, or Bulldog and Jeff's Open Cards have been all over Twitter, just showing they're just earning monster amount of SPS for playing in survival, and they did it early in the season, unlike me, who did it on the last day. And they made an amazing amount, and now we got through our first season. Now the team has said, and we're going to hear from Matt in a moment, that he said the team would pay for this between 5 and 6 months. The question is, how are we going to continue to pay for this? Now I'm going to mute myself for a second so we can go ahead and hear this little segment I wanted to highlight.
Board rework that we are planning to launch next week, I think next Thursday instead of Tuesday, because we want to do it at the end of the season, so survival mode can start with a fresh new season there. I think everyone at this point knows about survival mode. I'm not going to go into it too much. There's been some questions about the rewards, so I'll reiterate that initially the team is planning to provide the SPS reward pool the same size as the other leagues. We would look to provide that for at most 5 or 6 months, and the hope is that survival mode is very successful and everyone loves it, and then there can be a proposal for the DAO to continue funding that through token inflation.
So right there, I wanted to highlight that, again, they're only paying for it for a little while. And Matt's first initial thought was, was this going to be paid for with a DAO proposal for token inflation? Now that's something very, very new from what I understood how the DAO was going to continue funding our project. And I just kind of wanted to bring that up to you guys.
One idea that I've been exploring is the potential. I know we've mentioned that bots are going to be allowed to play in survival mode, and in a lot of ways, it might even be geared towards bots more than the other modes. One of the things that might be cool with the hype and excitement around AI and AI agents is there's no, as far as I know, there's no technical reasons why AI agents couldn't be built to play Splinterlands in survival mode. So it could be,
And I just wanted to play a little bit more right there to just kind of highlight the fact that he doesn't really expand. He doesn't say, no, I'm sorry, we wouldn't do inflation. He does go off into another interesting topic, and that's why I almost started to listen to that a little bit too long. But basically, he was saying that, the one about the AI bots and the AI bots coming and playing in survival and doing a really good mode and not making you lose your cards. Come on, validators, do a better job. That message is starting to spam me every once in a while. So, would we do token inflation to pay for survival? Would we do token inflation to pay for modern and to pay for wild? And this is kind of something I think as a community we're going to have to decide on and figure out. Now, The DAO has a whole bunch of SPS. I probably should have went and looked up how much they have, but let's just say they could definitely probably fund survival mode for a while with the SPS that they have. Now, if we want to do that kind of route, which I believe we were thinking we would originally do, then it would be the DAO funding the rewards pools with the SPS that the DAO has. However, then the DAO needs a mechanism to continually get more SPS. The DAO does not have a direct mechanism anymore within the game. Now, it could come back, but it doesn't anymore, like it did when the white paper was first written. Now, if any of this has been updated and someone wants to let me know, I'm just way off base here. I missed something. But for the way I understood this was supposed to work initially was that with the mini sets would be sold in SPS. So you have your main sets like the Rebellion set, and then typically you've had your little mini sets like dice, like Rift Watchers, and those can be sold in something different. And those funds would then go to the DAO. So the main sets, the DAO hires the team to make the money. They sell it for a DEC. They give the team DEC. We get DEC back based on the pack sales. That works. We have a DEC out and in. And when it's done correctly, we get a lot more back than we sent out. And that's not a bad little flywheel mechanism for DEC. Now, the problem with that, the only theoretical way that in that kind of a mode of selling that we're in now, that the DAO can get SPS is if the DAO takes, say, some of that extra DEC that comes back to them, goes out on the market and swaps it for SPS. Yes, that would pump SPS a little bit, but it would dump DEC, and then would it be enough to you keep the rewards pools healthy? I haven't done the math here on any of this. A little bit of an irresponsible video, but it's more just sharing this thing that I saw. I showed it to you guys on. I talked about it a little bit on the People's Guild. Most people miss that little token inflation word. I know Jagles and Fat Jimmy had no idea, and that he said a lot of the big whales would not be up for token inflation. They like the fact that SPS, who's already got a pretty high token amount of 3 billion, it was, it has burn mechanisms in it, has tokens that are locked up, has a true supply that is lower than that. So the idea that we would inflate to keep our rewards going, well, that would mean that we would probably, in my mind, have to do something to really drive home a need for each of us to hold more SPS. It may be an increase in the staking requirements to earn. It's definitely something that's interesting, and all of this is going to be coming due. This is kind of one of the bummers about the fact that the SPS was launched when it did. The crypto market had the issues that it had. The team had the issues that it had with cash flow. And we're reaching the point where, we're not that far away from some of our pools starting to end. Now, obviously, survival is going to be the first one. But then what happens when we have the modern and wild pools have issues? What happens when we get... How are we going to keep funding these? Now, I'm not currently in any of these, so I'm not worried about it, but they have, 16 APR, 11 APR, 6, 12. These two don't have APRs. They just have fees. So are all of these just going to no longer have any rewards anymore when we run out? Or are we going to token inflate to keep these rewards going? Are we going to token inflate to keep all of our ranked modes paying out? Or are we going to work out some kind of mechanism within the DAO where they can get enough SPS to keep the rewards pools going, and not just going maybe for like another year, but going on in the long term? It's not questions that have to be ferreted out right away. But I also just thought I should bring it up because survival is going to be our first kind of little mini game test. In, a couple months from now, he did say 5 to 6 months. that the team would be able to pay for survival and pay for these high modes. Are we going to be able to bring in enough extra users? Are enough extra people going to be playing survival? Is there an AI project out there that's going to be enticed to come and make that bot to play in survival that could bring over some of the users that they have into our ecosystem and maybe provide some more funding for the mode in some kind of deal that they make or something like that? It would be very interesting to see. I don't really know for sure, but I do know it's a very interesting thing to hear. But we do have to reimagine things. We no longer are selling any sets for SPS that goes directly to the DAO. We're not even selling any direct sets that go directly to the DAO for SPS. Now the DAO is doing interesting things. The promo cards, the auction card, the actual deals that we make for the set, we do seem to be pumping a lot of extra DEC into the bot. But the kind of idea with that DEC, at least for a lot of people, is that it would just sit there and it would be off the market so that you could almost take it and have that be a dwindling supply of DEC. Oops. Let's go check one thing out as we're going to go ahead and end this one. Hope you guys had a good time here, but we're going to get over here to Splinter Cards, and we're going to see here we have our DEC supply, and, you know, it's kind of funny. This has typically been something that, you know, as it goes down, and then it has all of these spikes that happen, and one of the spikes it would get was from the payouts of the leaderboard, but now that spike is going to be gone. So are we going to stop seeing these dramatic drops and peaks? It'll be an interesting thing to see. Now you know, DEC's up a tiny bit, SPS is up a tiny bit, vouchers are, you know, up relatively to where they were a little bit ago. Hive, unfortunately, is down. And overall, our ecosystem is, I'd say, looking like kind of medium healthy. There are some interesting things that survival mode is asking some of us to do. Have more extra summoners, have more extra cards, have, you know, your best cards not on land and in your deck. Don't run extra wild bots. Instead, bring all your cards into one account and just play survival mode with those cards. It's going to be something that's very interesting to ferret out on where your best value is there, and really expand on if it drives enough value to, you know, possibly even inflate the token or eat up some of the SPS the DAO has to go ahead and pay for this new mode. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you're doing pretty well. Hopefully you had a good end to the season. A little bonus thing at the end. I have almost maxed out my Rebellion rewards cards. So we'll get Chaos Legion off the board and we'll go to Rebellion here. At least, so when it comes to my commons, they are pretty much all maxed out at this point, which is nice. When it comes to my epics, they are pretty much all maxed out. When it comes, those are the two that I was trying to get first. When it comes to the rares, some of them are maxed out, and some of them are going to need just a little bit more. It looks like I can actually max out the dry bone. Oh no, I'm one. I need one card. That's right. So I need one more card on the dry bone, one more card on Janna. So, you know, probably after this season, when I do one more buy, I'll be pretty darn close on all of them, except for maybe these guys if I don't get lucky. They've been kind of my two that are lagging. Now, of course, because I think a lot of us agreed that the legendary cards were just not that impressive, I hadn't really been pushing the legendaries. Today was the first day with my extra rewards that I did a full printout of legendary cards. So that helped me push most of them up. Now, I got a couple here at level 3, a couple that stragglers that are level 2. For some reason, I haven't leveled this guy up, so let's do that really quick. Get him to level 2. It's kind of funny. I forgot all about some of these legendaries just because I think everybody kind of discounted them as being really good cards. But now, you know, having a couple extras of these guys when you're in survival mode could be pretty helpful, right? Especially some of these other cards here that like another tank card, because one of the big things in survival mode is your tank dies quite often, right? He's your first sacrificial lamb, but then you can't use him anymore. So you run out of tank cards relatively quickly. Those backline guys, they can last a little bit longer if you're somebody who's winning. But unless you're flawless victoring guys, you're losing a few of those people, and you need replacements for them. But how are you guys doing on your collections? Did you kind of work like me? When it comes to my gold legendaries, I did pull one more today. That was this one here. I got a Chaos Battle Mage. I have gotten a few copies of the Frigid Wolf. He's up to level 3, so we'll see if I get a few more of him. It'll be kind of something interesting once I'm done with my set. Do I work on another set? There is some precedent to do that. That would give me more maxed cards to play with in the survival mode. Or do I start spending the insane amount of glint to go ahead and pull gold legendary cards? Or do I just save up all my glint so that when the next sets of cards come out, I can really be sure to kind of buy maximum and level up cards really quick? I know there's other people who are further ahead of me than this. I'm probably ahead of a lot of you, but way behind some of the big dogs. So it's going to be something interesting that everyone's deciding over the next couple months. And hopefully I'll be back with some more Splinterlands videos soon, guys. Thanks. Bye.